Oh, welcome everybody to the Maj 2 Ray Show. Appreciate y'all. Missed y'all. Ain't talked to y'all since last week. Welcome to have a happy new Christmas Eve to everybody that supports y'all. Know the routine when y'all come and smash the like button, repost, get in the comment, get in the chat. What's up, Decent? How are you? I want y'all to let me know where y'all watching from. If you're watching on X, make sure you hit the repost button, share this all over the space. We gotta share it. Okay? We can't complain about the media being the most effective devil in America, and we'll share our own media. So appreciate y'all all. Hope everybody's gonna have a great time with family and all that other good stuff. Tonight we are discussing. Y'all know we had to talk about this Nicki Minaj shit. We have to. So that's what we're talking about. The Nicki Minaj conversation. We might go into a little bit of the Trump and Epstein thing. It's all connected, but I kind of want to talk about a lot of those things. But just want to make sure that we tapping in and sharing the space all over the place. Peace, Johnny. What's up? Merry Christmas. I did. I'm doing some content on that. I was going to do that for tonight's live. Johnny's talking about the UPS killers. What's up, TYS? Did it? Come on, y'all. Let me know what city y'all watching from. Put it in the chat. Naturally Armed. What's up? Dwayne. Down from the ATL. I was going to talk about that UPS killing for the live, but I think that deserves a little bit more video, and man, it's crazy if y'all didn't see that. But anyway, guys, if you're new here, my name is Maj Toure, the founder of BGM and Solutionary University. I spent the last decade working at the intersection of culture, politics, and real-world civics education, obviously along with firearms basics, between the Solutionary University and Black Guns Matter. We've reached millions, and we've trained thousands of people across the country on their rights, responsibilities, and how systems actually work. Tonight's conversation is exactly kind of why I built the civics course. If you don't understand how power, influence, and accountability really function, you kind of end up reacting to headlines instead of seeing patterns ahead of time. Situational awareness, right? And so we want everybody to beat the controversy and confusion with our civics course over at solutionaryuniversity.org. Some of you in the chat right now have already taken the course. Feel free, guys, to give a comment, drop something in the chat. Let me know what you know. Let other folks know what you got from the actual course and all of that. Yeah, so that's the homework. But tonight, we're going to have this conversation about Nicki Minaj at AmFest with Erica Kirk, as we see on the screen here. I want to say something first. As you guys know, I've spoken at a few turning point events. I've spoken at, I don't even know. I've spoken at a bunch of them. I've done Candace Owens' show when she was over there at Turning Point. I think that Brandon Tatum is a clown. So I just don't want to be associated with those folks, especially after the direction that some of the people were going over there with Charlie Kirk and his DEI conversation. I just wasn't feeling it. It was not productive. This is no diss to Charlie Kirk. No one deserves to die that way. His wife, Erica Kirk, I don't really trust her. I don't need to trust these people. I don't know them. They don't help me with my life. They don't help y'all with your life. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight. All right. There's a nuance to tonight's conversation that I want y'all to really, really pay attention to, because we solutionaries. If you're tapping into my show, you're not here just for hot takes. Okay. You're here for solutions, nuance, context, and a shaping of the view that gives you more power in your approach to your daily life off of these things. Y'all know we don't talk about shit that don't have nothing to do with solutions for our life. So that's what tonight's going to be. Now, this appearance triggered this backlash, and it speaks to why celebrity proximity always becomes political. Whether it should, whether it should not, I don't think it should, but it does. Okay? It somewhat becomes political. And there is a double standard. Now, when we're more specifically talking about artists that have a big, Black community following, right? Or leftist following, it just makes it very interesting to me to recognize how some people will think they get to determine how these entertainers, because that's all they are. We have a shirt that fits this. If you guys want to grab it, it's over at blackgunsmatter.shop. Right? I should have wore it tonight. But anyway, entertainers are not leaders. And I'm going to keep that same energy all across the board, regardless of which side. I don't care that Cardi B endorsed Joe Biden. They are entertainers. Don't care. I do not look for Cardi B or Kim Kardashian or Amber Rose or Nicki Minaj, anybody that's going right of center, left of center politically. I respect their ability to do that as an American. They have free speech, freedom of association, voluntary association, and disassociation. All right? So because we have so much attachment to what celebrities do and say, we either too hype it or we get too mad when they make a decision to express what their political views are. I like Taylor Swift's music. I do. I think she seems like a very good person. I think she's always giving and doing stuff for her fans and her team and all of that. I don't care that Taylor Swift got behind Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. They are entertainers. So that's what tonight's conversation is going to be about. The contradictions associated with this Nicki Minaj association with AmFest with Erica Kirk, and watching people that are, on one hand talk about, yeah, we should have conversations about this. We should have a free whatever. And then soon as this person does this, they go, oh, I'm out. And I've experienced this even as a libertarian. I go in every room. I go in Democrat rooms. I go in independent rooms. I go in libertarian rooms. I go in conservative rooms. I go burn down the stages. And then going in all of these rooms, I see a lot of the bullshit. But before we get to me, let's read up on this. Nicki Minaj makes surprise appearance with Erica Kirk at TPUSA's America Fest, urges young men to be more like Trump. Rapper Nicki Minaj. Rapper Nicki Minaj made a surprise appearance Sunday with Erica Kirk at America Fest, where she took questions from Charlie Kirk's widow and urged young men to be like handsome, dashing President Trump while ripping California Governor Gavin Newsom. Quote, he has given so many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys and to win and to do it with your head held high. Minaj told Kirk about her thoughts on the president. Erica noted that her late husband Charlie loved to bring surprise guests during Turning Point USA gatherings. During her onstage discussion, the Queen of Rap got candid about her religious journey and her decision to speak up against the slaughtering of Christians in Nigeria. We won't be silenced ever again. We will speak up for Christians wherever they are in this world, she declared. Minaj vowed that she's not going to back down anymore and urged America Fest attendees to stand by their core beliefs regardless of what other people say. When asked about the backlash from her industry over her politics, Minaj simply replied, I didn't notice. We're the cool kids, the other people, they're the others that are still disgruntled. Minaj stressed about her lefty critics. They are angry with themselves. In a world that doesn't want us to think, we will think. The famed rapper electrified the crowd and drew a steady stream of standing ovations at the feted conservative grassroots gathering in Arizona during her Q&A with Kirk. Now, let me stop right there for a second, y'all. Let me be very clear. I'm like 1 or 2 degrees of separation between myself and Nicki Minaj. If I tried to get to Nicki Minaj in a respectful way, I probably could. It's no doubt about that. I don't care. I think Nicki Minaj is probably the best female lyricist of all time. Okay? I definitely think she can wrap rings around damn near all women that in that field. Nicki Minaj has the human right to express what her position is as an American. That's it. Where I'm not going to get caught up is I'm going to get excited that Nicki Minaj says whatever she said about President Trump, because I am not in a camp right now that thinks that Trump is doing a great job. Okay? I don't think so. I think that Donald Trump and this administration has done a 180-degree turn from what they have presented themselves to be during their campaign in 2023 and 2024 more specifically. All right? I in no way, shape, or form think that this is a time where Donald Trump's approval rating is solid. And I think more people are questioning things, especially around the Epstein conversation. And tonight we might go into that a little bit more. It depends on how we communicate. You know what I mean? However, no. Donald Trump has seemed to do a 180 as we're looking at the Epstein files that magically somebody forgot to redact them properly. Now you can copy and paste that allegedly and put it through Adobe and just read what they tried to redact, whatever. Now the DOJ is saying they got 1 million more files in the Epstein list and all of these other things that to me is starting to look like a carrot dangling. But the Trump administration is now trying to go to war with Venezuela, potentially like Trinidad. I've heard they're trying to like conquer some of that over there, i.e. Nicki Minaj is from Trinidad. They're talking about the conversation as it relates to potentially going back into Iran again. This administration has been a shit show. That's what it is. It's not a diss. It's just critique, political critique of the job. You're lying about Venezuela being, they got all of the fentanyl. They're violating international war, right? Now, let's be clear though. Al-Qaeda and other people have used South and Central America as hotbeds outside of just the Middle East and came over. That's been a thing for a while. If you guys read up on that, you'll see it. So I'm not ignoring the fact that there are what the United States government has deemed terrorist organizations to be in Central and South America. Not arguing against that. But you guys are communicating and saying the primary reason for blowing up boats and XYZ is because of narco-terrorists. And that's bullshit. That's bullshit. You guys got to do a better job of communicating what it is. Or don't say nothing. But either way, nonetheless, this has been a clusterfuck, and then Nicki Minaj shows up to say, hey, this is what I align with. Now, comparatively, do I think that Kamala Harris would have been more respected internationally? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I also do think that if Kamala Harris would have won, Republicans wouldn't be 1,000% laying down to all of this bullshit that the Trump administration emerging AI with Grok and all of the federal agencies and their fucking artificial intelligence and the surveillance state and Palantir and the fucking Republicans would not be laying down for this if Kamala Harris was trying it. There would have been some fight in them. But because it's their guy, they don't want to call nuance and objectivity. And this is the problem with the double standard, whether it relates to a celebrity figure that's a president, like Donald Trump, or when we're talking about entertainers communicating who they like, dislike, and for whatever reason. Solutionaries. First, smash the like button. Hit the like button, da-da-da-da. I feel funny saying that now, right? I saw some of the Dave Chappelle stand-up. He was like, smash that like button. So now I feel funny saying it that way. But anyway, guys, hit the like button. It costs you nothing. Share the space all over the place. If you're watching on X, repost. Here's the thing. Nicki Minaj, similar to Cardi B, can speak on whatever their positions are. However, you should not be that fucking invested in them because they are the help. Literally, they are works for hire. They are hired to entertain. In ancient Rome, wrestlers, gladiators, and comedians and entertainers were the help. They were not put on a pedestal. They were literally like the court jesters. If you watch Game of Thrones, you know how a court jester gets treated. But now the bread, they had value in the sense of they were there to distract the people with the bread and the circuses. This does not mean that we are there to demean them for expressing their political opinion. However, we are to say, I'm not going to put too much stock in it. I'm not going to act like just because I think Nicki Minaj could rap her ass off and I think the entire industry is like upset with her. She got hit with a cease and desist letter today from Rock Nation. A few days after the Erica Kirk appearance, right? Joe Budden got his fucking panties in a bunch talking about, I'm done. I'm sorry, Barbs, I'm done. Joe Budden, shut the fuck up. You're not the pinnacle of fucking moral righteousness, dude. The fuck are you talking about? You was just naked a couple of months ago high, walking through your apartment complex indecent exposed. Why the fuck should we listen to you? And Joe Budden, you the same person that had Candace Owens on one of your sit downs. So what are you talking about? You can sit down with Candace Owens, but fucking Nicki Minaj can't sit down with Erica Kirk? Contradiction. But it's all of these double standards and contradictions. Who gets criticized? Who gets excused? Joe Budden, and I say this with no malice. I want to be very clear. This is no malice. But it's a contradiction. Joe Budden, you can sit down with Candace Owens at a time when a whole lot of black people had a problem with Candace Owens. But now that Nicki Minaj sits down with Erica Kirk, now I'm done. Don't text me, Nicki. Get the fuck out of here. This is why I even entertain and jump into these conversations, because us as Americans, we need to make sure that we're maintaining a fucking standard. If you respect every human's political choices, even when you disagree with them, you're not getting too mad or too happy when your person endorses the person that you like, or your person endorses the other person that you dislike. It's kind of gay, especially for men. It's kind of gay. It's kind of gay. Why are you that invested in an entertainer? It's gay for men all the way around. I expect women to be a little bit more fanatical about people, especially guys. I'm not mad when I go somewhere and I give a great speech and people are like, oh man, I've been following you for however many years, right? I'm not mad at that. And then they like, oh man, I really like meeting you. They want to, especially women. The brothers usually be like, yo, Maj, I respect what you do. They give me a dap. And I usually say, let's get a picture, right? But when I don't expect men to get overly excited or overly hating based on other men or even women's choices, it's gay. It's gay. I have plenty of cool people that I've engaged with, followed, done their shows, did this, did that. I don't be hype about that shit. Don't be gay. You're being gay. But what's even more gay is the double standard. The double standard. We watch Democrats hold Joe Biden out. He was weakened at Bernie's. We watched them lie and pretend like he was cool. We watched 4 years of them pretend like this dude had all of his mental faculties. Y'all are not upset about the administration, the people and the PR teams and the media outlets that act like he was cool, but you're mad that Nicki Minaj sat down with the widow of Charlie Kirk. Tell me how it makes sense. While you have your own bullshit going on. The double standard is what we as solutionaries have to call out. Our job is to expose the contradiction to the maximum degree. And that's what tonight's conversation about. Now, it's nuanced again, guys. We also need to understand, again, we have a shirt that says, entertainers are not leaders. That phrase comes from Malcolm X, Al-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, God bless the dead, okay? In your community, engineers are leaders, civil engineers, business women and men, community activists, health and fitness people, spiritual advisors, solid spiritual advisors, right? Priests, imams, I don't know which the ones for rabbis, right? When people are doing these things well and making their life about service to others, they are more qualified to get the title or moniker of leader. Not somebody that sings and fucking dances. You know, I got friends that are real estate developers, right? And real estate developers, especially if they've been in any way, shape, or form successful, they're in different rooms with like a doctor that makes $10-20 million a year, right? Doctors think that because they're intelligent with fucking surgery and brain surgery or heart surgery or whatever, they think that intelligence a lot of times translates into real estate. It's a whole nother fucking field. It has nothing to do with each other. But because you've made money and you might be generally intelligent, you got a high IQ, You'll think that everything is just transferable to a certain extent, and it's not. Apply that same logic to these entertainers. On one hand, we recognize the double standard. I'm telling you the way that we squash the double standard is just to accept people get to endorse whoever they want. But if they are an entertainer, you should not be taking that shit serious. Not just because they are not well versed in the subject matter, and that's a major reason why, but it's not the only reason why. When that double standard happens because people are paying too much attention to what the hired help, literally work for hire, the entertainer, is saying, now we get a double standard because you have an emotional attachment and investment in with the help the entertainer says. My cleaning lady is not politically well versed enough for me to appreciate or get serious about her political takes, other than how it relates to her and her life. I'm not getting mad or happy that my cleaning person or my meal prep service or the guy that cleans the truck, none of their reasons I could understand their perspective as a human, and that's where it lies. But I'm not going to get happy, nor am I going to get upset by it. When you get happy and upset, it's because you have given the help, and I don't mean it in a disrespectful or derogatory way. You think just because she could clean the shit out of your house, that means she's super duper smart. And it doesn't. That's like me saying, okay, I'm good at self-development. I am good at getting people inspired and disciplined. I am good at getting people to shoot better, especially beginners. That means I can go be a fucking heart surgeon now. And that is the stupidest thing in the world. Stupidest. So because you get emotionally attached to these people and you think that because they have millions of dollars or millions of followers, that somehow that means that they're intelligent in this lane, and it's not a diss, now you easily taken advantage of them. So then you ascribe an emotional reaction, or your identity becomes associated with this person. That is cultish. Okay? Especially if this person has not proven themselves qualified to have the conversation thoroughly about this. Now, because you have pedestalized this being, and you pedestalized another being, meaning your political choice, when in reality they're not supposed to be celebrities. Politicians are supposed to be public servants, and if they do the job wrong, we're supposed to get them the fuck out of here. Back in the day, we would tar and feather them. Okay? So now you've identified this person as the greatest, and this person is the greatest, and you like these two. But when one of these persons don't like this person, now you got an attitude. Because you put so much emotional investment into these people that don't give a fuck about you. Sorry, guys. Now we got a division. Now we have a double standard. I can't believe that Snoop Dogg would endorse Joe Biden. Then here comes the contradiction. Because you like Snoop, you don't acknowledge that because you like, I like Snoop more than Joe Biden, or I like Snoop more than Trump, whatever it is. Okay? Then when Snoop goes to the crypto ball that was put together by the Trump administration that Trump wasn't even at, now these same people on the left go, oh, wait a minute, you only supposed to hate Trump. Why would you get money to perform there? Without even knowing any of the information. Because they have put emotional attachments to people. And they have a short memory span. So then they don't think back and go, damn, everybody in hip hop was like, I like Donald Trump. They don't pay attention. See, I'm 78 years old. So I got enough memory to recognize what's really going on out here. Okay? Hold on one second, y'all. My point in saying this is all solutions that we have to apply. I want to hear a show of hands. Who in the chat has ever gotten offended or happy because of a political person or a artist that supported or endorsed a political person? Give me a chat. Give me something in the chat. You got mad at Snoop Dogg for endorsing whoever. Ironically, you wasn't getting mad at Snoop Dogg when you was a young bull and he was rapping about killing everybody in your fucking community. Johnny just says, y'all acting like you ain't never watched The Apprentice on NBC. That's what y'all look like. That's what y'all sound like. Y'all act like y'all wasn't watching The Apprentice. Okay? I want to act like that. I was 72 last year. I'm 78 this year. I keep guessing. I'm a senior citizen, though. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I practice the Solutionary 9, so I'm in great shape. You feel me? Everybody should be in the Solutionary 9. That's really the answer. Don't get mad at me because I look amazing for 78 years old because I drink water and I work out and I meditate and I read and I stay on the Solutionary, stay on top of what I got going on, and I stay on top of what they got going. Don't get mad at me because my skincare regimen is okay. And I'm hydrated, electrolytes and shit. Don't be mad. But because I'm 75 years old, I have enough memory to go, I remember when these things didn't happen. I remember when everybody was like, oh, yeah, Trump's cool. I remember when Joe Biden was endorsed by Senator Ron Thurmond and Byrd. Literal, like, grand wizards of the Ku Klux Klan. Literally. I remember when Joe Biden was championing. He was the one responsible for locking people up and judges didn't get the right to do their job because of mandatory sentencing minimums. That was Joe Biden, right up the street in Delaware. Okay? So that's the key for tonight. The key for tonight is recognize what's happening. We watching a backlash because of a celebrity proximity to politics that should not be political, but it is. Why is it? Because of influence. Because we need more solutionaries that are not influenced by these screens, by these people. I enjoy Taylor Swift's music. I enjoy Nicki Minaj's music. I enjoy Lauryn Hill's music. I enjoy their music. That's all you guys are to me. I don't care about your political endorsement. I don't care. That's me. We have to develop that skill set in ourselves and our immediate circle as solutionaries. The other thing is we have to do that by calling out the contradiction. Again, when we look at Joe Budden saying, I'm out. Nicki, don't text me, don't. As if Nicki was going to fucking call you because you said you out. We call the contradiction. Joe Budden sat down with Candace Owens. I mean, we're just talking. I wanted to have a conversation. I get to have a conversation. So now you get to have a conversation with Candace Owens, but Nicki Minaj cannot have a conversation with Erica Kirk. She can't make a political statement or say, hey, Donald Trump raises his children right, whatever she said. And this is me saying this as a person that is intellectually consistent. The real pandemic is intellectual inconsistency. I'm intellectually consistent because I do not think that Donald Trump this term is doing, I think this administration is a shit show. Bondi is anti-gun all day long. Has been since she was in Florida. You picked her. Kash Patel is a fucking recluse that looks like he's on coke. Lying and distracting all over the place. Dan Bongino, fucking second in command over there, his last day at the FBI will be January the 1st. And again, I like Dan. I've done Dan's show. I like Dan. But it's been and maybe that's why he's leaving. He might be NDA'd all the way to fuck up. Can't non-disclosure agreement. Can't say nothing. But he did the job for a year and is tapping out. Nothing has changed in the swamp. I'm not pretending like it is. You've become and strengthened the swamp with the power of AI, powered and sponsored and brought to you by Palantir, brought to you by Grok. That's what happened. That doesn't mean that I don't think Trump is charismatic or he raised his children properly, but I'm also saying There's something different in his step. And I'm saying this because I want to be clear that even with that being the case, Nicki Minaj gets to say, I don't think she knows all of this. That's why I don't take anything that these people say seriously. I just respect their ability as a human to choose whatever they do. Now, if they start talking policy, legislation, I would champion that, but you better be on fucking point. You jumping off the porch. These political streets have standards. It's cool if you're on the porch just in the stands waving your pom-poms. That's what the Erica Kirk sit down was to me. You was in the stand. TPUSA events are literal pep rallies. Erica Kirk coming out that joint with pyrotechnics like she a fucking WWE wrestler, which is weird to me. It's weird. Charlie Kirk died 2 months ago. October the 10th, right? October the 10th? Something like that? 17th, whatever it was. 2 months ago. It's December. October, November, 3 months. You out there coming out with the eyeliner and the leather pants and the shiny, glittery outfit. That shit looks like bullshit to me. Some people grieve differently, though. So I'm able to say, that looks weird, but I don't want to say it's all the way whatever. I'm not at the Candace Owens level of conspiracy yet. Things look weird, though. So with that being the case, Nicki can sit down and have a conversation with her. I don't take any of their political positions serious. I do not think that they have had studious and copious amounts of study to evaluate. I know that these people, in my opinion, they could be studying the whole time, and I just don't know. They have no political education, in my opinion. So I just respect their thing. And when you don't respect their thing, now we turn into these double standards. Why is this important tonight? The conversation of us being respectful as solutionaries is one thing. We're being objective. But we also got to look at subjective realities and what normally happens. Usually, when entertainers step into political spaces, it's not just them showing up. It's not just, I just want to say what I would have. In the same week, J.D. Vance is giving her love. J.D. Vance, who's obviously going to run for presidency in 2028, they're trying to put their ducks in a row now. They get the most highly influential woman in hip-hop. Since Cardi went that way, we get Nicki. J.D. Vance, few days ago, was backing up Nicki Minaj. Coinky Dink, get the fuck out of here. Nicki Minaj, whose brother, I think, is in jail for federal charges for something to do with molestation or something of those regards. Maybe she need a presidential pardon. I personally know 3 people that got presidential pardons for fake cases. Angela Stanton King's one of them, the homie. I know some other people that, won't really go into for what they did. Okay, but it wasn't sexual. What I will say is, maybe that's the play. This is the deeper conversation that you have to evaluate. You as a solutionary should be thinking, what's the chess move? What's the play behind this? And if it's no play, cool. They just get to feel how they feel. But at a certain level, it's money involved. There's a flight involved. This turning point event happened in Arizona. Nicki Minaj does not fucking live in Arizona. She lives in LA, I think. Calabasas or something like that. Okay? I don't know. And again, none of this is a diss to Nicki Minaj. I like the barbs. I like the rap. I think her verse on Monster was better than everybody's. It's dope. However, I have a discerning mind. Don't stop for 1 second and think this entertainer just showing up with pyrotechnics and hearts is just a oops. Hey, I just wanted to call TPUSA. What would be the reason, knowing that you're going to get backlash because so many people are emotionally invested in this shit? What would be the reason for you to do that? Allegedly, she got rid of her Instagram because she was getting too much backlash and lost however many million followers. But she's gained a few 100,000 followers on X because X leans more right of center. The game has just changed. The viewership has changed, but the rules is still the same. CNN, Fox. Instagram and fucking X. Right and left. That's all. Elon told you, you are the media now. So when somebody's like, all right, I'm going to make this move, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. Every time, y'all know I'm a movie buff. Sidebar, I want to hear y'all perspective. I'm thinking about doing movie reviews. Movies with Maj or some shit like that, right? Tell me in the chat if y'all would be in any way, shape, or form interested in that. Or are y'all like, Maj, get the fuck out of here. Talk to me about politics, not your reliving your glory days of fucking selling DVDs on a train. Let me know in the comment section. But when you watch a movie, everything in the movie is placed there on purpose. Nothing that shows up on camera has not been accounted for. If it's on the screen, it was carefully curated and put there. In the social media space now, right? Sometimes people will like unzip their zipper when they're making social media content. They'll do that. So people in the comments comment, yo, your zipper's down, because they want to boost the comment section to boost the algorithm. This is not a fucking accident. Okay? So I'm saying this all to say, right? A multi-million, Nicki Minaj allegedly gets $2 million per show. Do you think that she needs the $1 million that was allegedly paid to her to come have this sit out? And if it was there, cool, get your money. Free market enterprise. I'm not tripping. Because I'm not mad that Beyonce got paid however much to walk out somewhere for Kamala and I ain't even see her do the single ladies fucking dance. I love the single ladies dance. Oh, I'm a single lady. Oh, I'm a single lady. That shit, I love it. That's one of the best pieces of choreography. Because you know they did that in one whole take, right? The single ladies dance is up there with the Thriller dance. It's up there. Sorry. It's up there. So I'm not going to be mad at Nicki for showing up and potentially getting $1 million when Beyonce showed up for Kamala and didn't even dance. I didn't even hear Irreplaceable. Okay? And allegedly, I think that was like $3 to $10 million, whatever it is. I don't care. That being the case, do you think, if you really think that was a oops and she just called Turning Point and was like, I really, really want to have a conversation with Erica Kirk? No. When entertainers get into a political space, it is almost never just them showing up. Nope. It could be not financial payment. It could be, let me start going this way so I can secure this demographic. We saw this with Candace Owens right after she left the Daily Wire. Right after she left the Daily Wire. She wanted to do all of the black podcasts. I ain't heard Charlamagne say nothing about Nicki Minaj over there yet. Nothing yet. But I'm waiting, just like Joe Budden jumped out there. Charlamagne, you better not, because you had Candace on too. Still scared to have a sit down with me. All you bitch ass dudes. But nonetheless, it's not, it could be just rebranding. I need to get a little bit of this black community. I need to get a little bit of the super, I hate the Jews, white people. That's why I'll talk the Jewish thing and get a little bit of that. And they'll tap in. Because you're giving too much validity to people that have done absolutely nothing with their life other than tell you stuff. They have not served. They're not qualified. What have they done for your life? And again, I like the entertainers. I like it. If you're entertaining me, that's what you did. You are there to entertain me. Make me laugh, make me smile. You are a work for hire. But the influence, because of the lack of discernment, the amount of influence and the ability to shift voting patterns, because the general public becomes so enamored with this, oh, such and such said this. It's like the Dave Chappelle joke for me, right? Here's the Dave Chappelle joke for me. Who gives a fuck what Ja Rule thinks at a time like this? After the joke that Dave Chappelle had was, after the levees break in New Orleans and shit happened and whatever, and he said, we have Ja Rule on the line. and we're going to go to Ja, or it might have been 9/11, whatever it is. We're going to talk to Ja and see what. And who gives a fuck what Ja Rule thinks at a time like this? No one gives a fuck. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Why? Because we are focused on local civics, self-development, personal evolution, transformation, strengthening ourselves. And I'm saying this on Christmas Eve as we're going into the eve of the 250th year of America in existence. Y'all understand that? We're talking about alignment, numbers. Now, if you want to put on the fucking Illuminati conspiracy theory hat, and I can go in that bag too. We're talking about 250 years. We're talking about that empires and republics in general. We are a constitutional republic. They usually only last about 200 years. Okay? These are the things that we have to talk about. We're going to move on, though, to this next thing, though. If y'all got some questions about this Nicki Minaj shit, that's cool. We can talk about it. But I want to jump to this next thing with Thomas Massey. I'm going to jump over to Scott McFarlane thing. Over this other thing. I want to talk about this. These are Epstein survivors, guys. And I think that, wait, before we move to that, guys, make sure you hit the like button, all that other good stuff, right? I want to say this and wrap up this Nicki Minaj thing very, very briefly, guys. This audience confusion between influence, endorsement, and responsibility is the trifecta of dumb shit. I'm going to say that again. The audience's confusion between influence, endorsement, and responsibility is the triangle of goofy shit. If you don't understand that people will be influenced by people that they should not be listening to, and you think that endorsement means you have to go with that influence and that endorsement, and if you don't understand the responsibility of self to be discerning and to have a standard of, that's great, you like this particular person for whatever reason, but you have no knowledge of policies or politics, that trifecta, that's the Bermuda Triangle, that's where motherfuckers get lost. In that confusion of that triangle. Influence, endorsement, and the responsibility. And as this is happening, we're talking about this, we get a new statement from the Epstein survivors. It is alarming that the United States Department of Justice, the very agency tasked with upholding the law, has violated the law, both by withholding massive quantities of documents and by failing to redact survivor identities. What are they talking about? Well, I'll tell you. We're back to the resurfacing of the Epstein questions, and Donald Trump, who Nicki Minaj, this is, again, to me, she coming in a little bit at the wrong time because he ain't hot shit like he was in 2016, 2017. That was a decade ago. In a few days, the Trump administration, this is his third term, that was a decade ago. He was the hot shit. First campaign and won. Okay? Donald Trump has been pushing back against the release of the Epstein files for some time now, after he campaigned for years. When Biden was in office, everybody was talking about the Epstein files. We're talking about the raping of children, people. So you pushed it, you held it, this, then the third. You attacked Thomas Massey, my homie, for saying, hey, we need to have some transparency with this. And these questions, then Trump is, are we still talking about that Epstein guy? This guy's a loser. So you campaigned on it, now he's a loser. Then as the information comes out, now all of a sudden, you was on the Lolita Express. These questions won't go away. And now, you put this information out, you redacted it to all the be damned, and whoever redacted it did it the wrong way, because now you can copy and paste it and get access to the stuff. Somebody, very powerful people, or just crazy wealthy people, don't want this conversation to be had. This is disgusting. The Epstein Files Transparency Act imposed the December 19th, 2025 deadline for the United States Department of Justice to release its full records of the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein and his accomplices and enablers. Which means it wasn't just fucking Jeffy boy over there. This law, enacted by a nearly unanimous vote in the House and unanimously in the Senate, and signed by the president, was clear. It afforded no permission for delayed disclosure. Instead, the public received a fraction of the files, and what received was riddled with abnormal and extreme redactions with no explanation. At the same time, numerous victims' identities were left unredacted. So they said that they were redacting this because they wanted to protect the victims. They over-blacked out the people that was a part of it and left some of the actual victims' names out there. This government, this administration, the United States government in general is a fucking shit show. I want to be very clear. If you're from a hood across America, and if you don't live in a multi-million-dollar gated community, guess what? You live in a hood. If you live in a hood across America, I know that I'm saying the things that you're thinking. Okay? And I know you got a lot of stuff to go on, families around for the holidays, all of that, right? But I want you to understand that your government has played in your goddamn face for some time now. What's American is saying what I'm about to say. I do not fuck with the United States government in any way, shape, or form. Eat a dick. This is not complicated. I'm an actual patriot. I care about our country women and our countrymen. And some of our elected and non-elected officials seem to be running cover for a pedophile ring that will take advantage of our most vulnerable resource, which is our babies. Do I need more of a reason to not rock with the United States government? Thomas Massie made it, enforced it. Speaker Johnson, went out of their way to keep the government closed for longer because once Thomas Massie had the votes, when they opened the government back up, they were going to vote on it. It was, again, damn near unanimous. And in the process of that damn near unanimous thing, then y'all came up with another way to violate the rule. Redacted. Oh, well, it's dangerous to national security. Let me tell you something. If your government would fall because some of its participants or a lot of its participants are sleeping with babies, children, then your government should fall. Your government wasn't supposed to be this large in the first place. Okay? The government, the founders of America, let's talk about this real quick. Tonight's December, Christmas Eve. I posted this maybe a few hours ago. Tonight, 249 years ago, going on 250 years ago, George Washington and a small contingency, took a boat and scooped across the Delaware River to go murder the ops. These guys believed in limited government. They murdered that ops because those British troops and their team were overly taxing them at 3-4%, right? Doing what is it called? Taxation without representation. They went to go kill the police. That's what happened. The British redcoats were the cops, the government. George Washington and the squad took a boat, rowed it across the Delaware River on Christmas Eve to kill the ops, to murder them, because they didn't believe in overreaching government. You now have a government that agreed after they pushed back against Thomas Massie and others and said, we want all of these files released. They agreed, then violated the rule, and then was sloppy on top of that because now we could just unredact it on whatever. Now it's saying names, this, that, blah, 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 and they still violated the reason why they said they was redacted in the first place. So don't mind me pardon me if I go, this government is corrupt. I love the American people. I love all of you that are working hard to pay for that bevy of gifts. Gifts got a little lighter, huh? The gifts ain't like they was back in the 80s, huh? You know why? Because your same United States government and the Federal Reserve stole your money, stole your labor, kept printing money, took it off the gold standard, and then started giving money to other foreign nations, which weakened your spending power. So pardon me if I don't rock with this United States government. And then the icing on the cake is now after they finally get some transparency, some traction, and we say, at least we can agree that we should find out who potentially or may be definitely has slept with children in a international spy and blackmail ring under the guise or control of one of the most prolific sex traffickers in world history, with ties to Mossad and European intelligence agencies and CIA and this and that magically killed himself when all of the cameras happened to go off and not work on his cell, and magically the guards were gone. This guy that now Trump is saying, why are we still talking about him? We finally get some traction, and then you guys violate the same rule that government said, hey, we're going to let these things get released. You're supposed to be incensed because the government, your government, is playing right in your face. Playing. And Nicki Minaj shows up, thumbs up for Trump during this time. This is how I know she don't know the timing, the information. You don't know. This is how I know it's something else in the backdrop. You want to get a political favor. See, that's what politics really is. Civics is what we're supposed to be doing. What we got now is politics. Politics by definition. It's two definitions to politics. Politics is the securing, maintenance, and expansion of your own interests. Politics, securing, maintaining, and expanding on your interests. How that looks like in the real world, which is the second so-called definition. Politics is how the world's resources are moved. So we see in politics play out. We need civics and limited government. That's why we got a civics class for everybody. Let's read a little bit more. Again, instead the public received a fraction of the files, and what we received was riddled with abnormal and extreme redactions with no explanation. At the same time, numerous victims' identities were left unredacted, causing real and immediate harm. No financial documents were released. Grand jury minutes, though approved by a federal judge for release, were fully blacked out. Not the scattered redactions that might be expected to protect victim names, but 119 pages blacked out. We are told that there are hundreds of thousands of pages of documents still unreleased. These are clear-cut violations of an unambiguous law, meaning we clearly know that this is the rule. Moreover, the partial release was done in a manner that made it difficult or impossible for survivors to find materials that would be most relevant to our search for accountability. There has been no guidance for survivors on how to locate materials pertaining to our own cases, nor have we been provided with copies of our own files despite repeated requests. There has been no communication with survivors or representatives as to what was withheld from release or why hundreds of thousands of documents have not been disclosed by the legal deadline, or how Department of Justice will ensure that no more victim names are wrongly disclosed. While clearer communication would not change the fact that the law was broken, its absence suggests an ongoing intent to keep survivors and the public in the dark as much as possible, as long as possible. You don't hate your fucking government enough. Y'all should say it with me now. Type it in the chat. Fuck the United States government. You don't hate your government enough. I like saying fuck the government and fuck the police every day. It keeps me young and healthy. Y'all want to know how I'm 82 years old and look this good? It's because I generally got a beautiful distaste and distrust for all levels of government. The hate for the government keeps me youthful. It produces nice levels of collagen and elastin. It keeps me fighting against the system. You don't hate the government enough. They are telling you we are going out of our way to protect people that potentially have kidnapped, had sexual relations with, and potentially killed children. Y'all want to hear a scary rabbit hole to go down? Type in frazzle drip. Now magically Hunter Biden's laptop and this and that. And listen, the game is rigged, and it's designed to be rigged because they think you ain't gonna do shit about it. I believe that you will do something about it. That's why we made a private community literally dealing with it. This big picture here, y'all, is this. Culture, celebrity, politics are bleeding into each other constantly because you're not discerning your mind and you're not creating other people around you to be solutionaries as well. When I'm in a room full of people that I don't fucking like or can't respect, I turn them into something else. If I see you at the gym doing 3 sets of 10 and I am nominally associated with you, I don't give unsolicited advice to anybody. Sidebar, y'all stop that. Stop walking up to fucking people in the gym telling them what they should do and not do. Especially doing it to women. It's creepy. It's creepy. Okay? However, if you're around me nominally and I know you and you're doing 3 sets of 10 with that light ass weight, I'm going to get you on 5x20 off top. Medium weight. We're going to push and challenge you. I had one of my clients today in the gym at 4:30 in the morning. We did 600 reps of arms. Biceps, triceps, forearms. What's happening? What's happening? I'm going to push you to be better. You have to make the people around you better by being solutionary, by getting them in the solutionary 9. Because if not, they're going to keep blurring these lines. Culture, celebrity, and politics bleeding into each other. And they do that to overwhelm you and confuse you and exhaust you. So because you don't understand the difference between civics and politics and how politics is being used to override civics, this is a perfect example of it. Hey, the civic process was, we said we want this transparent. This is now a law. Then they did politics to override the civics. But if you don't understand the civics of the game, you can't see they bullshit politics. This is why we have a civics course in Solutionary University. Okay? Your lack of civic education is going to make people argue over why Nicki Minaj is wrong, over why Joe Budden is wrong for being contradictory, over these lower level beings that are designed. I get millions of dollars. I don't care if y'all talk about me. Okay, I'll close my Instagram, maybe, kinda, and then get some more fans on X, kinda. What are we talking about? Snoop Dogg will say, fuck Donald Trump, and then take a bag of money to go perform in his crypto ball. You're dealing with non-consistent, low moral fiber people. Like, what they about the bag. And I'm, again, free market enterprise. But you beat that by having a stoic, powerful, transformative understanding of how this shit's supposed to go and creating that in yourself, your family, and your team around you. Most of the people around you are stupid. It's up to you to make yourself sharper so they'll get the fuck away from you, or they'll get smarter while they're around you. If they in the gym with you consistently, they're going to get better. If you don't have that, you're going to be arguing on a low level. Let me blow y'all mind real quick. Let me take y'all down to the Planck scale. Google it. The Planck scale. Sidebar. Watch this movie / documentary called What the Bleep Do We Know? Let me know in the chat if you watched it before. Okay? Johnny Dogworth says they ain't got the heart of a Paul Robeson or an Ali. We got to give them that. Ambition is a learned behavior. It ain't just you was born with it or not. No, we work ourselves into that. We got to make them that. And I'm not saying it because I just want to give y'all more stuff to do. I'm saying it because they are actively making people stupid. We got to actively make people smarter with more heart and sharper and more capable. If I wasn't doing this, I would 1000% have a dispensary. Or just be selling fucking millions of dollars worth of weed, dispensary or not. But I enjoy saving the fucking world. But it's hard work. So y'all got to do that part too. You can't just complain about, oh, they stupid, this is da-da-da. Especially men. Men, if you don't take that information that you have and make the people, the younger people around you better, you're going to become bitter. Because the world going to be stupid and you're going to see stupid, stupid, stupid all over the place. And it seems like common sense to you. But you didn't transform those people around you and to see smart, smart, smart. People are stupid. I got to make them smarter. If you don't make them smarter and you just saying shit is wrong, you are complicit in the destruction of your country. And I'm not talking about the United States government. I'm talking about your country, your countrymen and your countrywomen. There comes a time where silence becomes betrayal. You feel me? Your lack of civic education, your lack of getting stronger, your lack of being smarter, your lack of understanding and strengthening the Second Amendment, that is what creates the outrage. But understanding systems and creating your own systems, that's why we have the Solutionary 9 and Solutionary University. Understanding and developing your own systems beats outrage all day long, twice on Sundays. Okay? If tonight's conversation feels like it's connecting some dots for y'all, that's what the civics course is designed to do. We give you frameworks so you're not relying on personalities, headlines, or social media narratives. I want to say that again. Being a solutionary, okay? Civics is a part of that. We got a shit ton of transformative information. I can get you in shape, make you smarter, and more lethal. All I need you to do is give me 99 days of hard work. We going into the New Year's, fuck waiting, do that shit now. Every single person in here should be in Solutionary University. Just what it is. If what I'm saying to you tonight seems to be connecting dots, we done went from the Epstein files and Nicki Minaj and merged them joints together. If you don't see the dots connecting, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. We're watching them throw distractions in front of you while you arguing about this, not talking about multinational corporations and banking cartels that use government and media as the frontmen for their backdoor dealings and control mechanisms. If you want that type of shit and you see how I've simplified this for you, you need to be in Solutionary University because our civics class alone is designed to give you that framework. So you are not, I want to repeat this, so you are not relying on personality, headlines, or social media narratives. The link is in the description. I want you all to go over to Solutionary University and sign up. There's two ways to do it. I see, hold on, let me get these shout outs real quick. D Cent with the $20 super chat. Appreciate you, D. Naturally Armed. If you're in Jersey, if you need firearms instruction in person, there you go. Naturally Armed. Thanks, y'all, for those super chats. Appreciate you. There's two ways that you guys can get access to all of this transformative, empowering, life-changing, narrative-shifting, mental slavery-breaking information. And it's easy. One, donate at givesendgo.com/solutionary. Donate to pay it forward for somebody else, and you'll get access to all of that information. Just donate. So you get a 2-for-1. You donate for other people. Sidebar, today all the way through New Year's, we want everybody to donate because we want to sponsor 2,500 women to take the firearms class, online class for free. All right? So donate $99 or more at givesendgo.com/solutionary. That's one way. And then you get access to all of them classes. If you a person that's like, I ain't donating shit, I just want the information, cool. Go over to solutionaryuniversity.org and join the Solutionary 9. The civics class that's in all of that other information. We just got a class over there with Jason Basler from the Free Thought Project. Jason Basler, from the creator of the Free Thought Project, is an instructor at Solutionary University. What are we talking about? Know your rights. Y'all see what D-Sim just said? All empires fall around the 250th year mark. Remember what I said earlier? They usually start crumbling around a deuce. Next year will be the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. You guys need to be a community. You guys need to have a network. We got a private community. We got a ton of information, transformative and evolving information for you to be that person that you know you need to be for your people. You know you desire to be that person. You know you want to be, you know it. You might not know exactly how to do it. That's why we made a simple and easy blueprint. What I'm saying to you is not like missing the mark. You know you need to lose weight. You know you need to get stronger. You know you need to be healthier. You know you need to learn more. You know you need to be able to protect more. We put that all together, and those are the two ways to get it. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Donate at the $100 level or more, and you'll get all of that, and you'll pay it for others. Or if you're the selfish motherfucker that's like, fuck that donation shit, go to solutionaryuniversity.org, and the link is in the description. I want to thank y'all all for tapping in tonight. Damn, tonight's show went fast as hell. Once a week, though, unless y'all engage in the Solutionary 9 private group, but once a week. Wednesdays at 8 p.m., youtube.com/Maj2Ray. Thank y'all all. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all donate. Make sure y'all get in the Solutionary University and share this all over the place if you're watching on X. My name is Maj2Ray, the founder of Solutionary University. Thank y'all all for tapping in. I will see y'all next week, or everybody just DMing me after this. I'm going to play around with y'all on social media for a little while. All right? I'll talk to y'all there. If not, be safe. Enjoy your Christmas for those of you that do celebrate. Enjoy your time with family and holidays, and I'll end here as well. If you guys are in the Solutionary 9 already, I posted a video on my Instagram recently saying this, okay? Do not allow family time and all of this smorgasbord of food that's about to be thrown in front of you, food, alcohol, snacks, all that bullshit. Bring your family and loved ones into your Solutionary 9 practices. Share them with what you're reading. Share with them what dry practice is. If you're prepping food, hey, boom, ration out those meals. Instead of getting that dessert coma, drink some black coffee after you had that one plate. Do not justify your lack of discipline. Do not give it room. And don't blame it on your fucking family. That's not what fucking leaders do. Don't blame it on your family. You are a leader. Still have time, still be disciplined, still spend time, but don't fall off. I want to see you all in the Solutionary 9. I want to engage you all in our private group. I want to see you all at solutionaryuniversity.org. Link is in the bio. Thanks again, guys, in the description. Thanks again. I'll talk to y'all in a bit. Be safe. Be solutionary.